All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is November 13th, 2024. This is the BYOB Market Wrap Up with me, John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Let's go take a look at some charts today. Start off with SPY. SPY, we had a trigger underneath here. Right here from the beginning, there was a trigger here, and then there was a trigger right over the top of that. But because they gave us an exhaustion candle, and we recovered 50% of that exhaustion candle, I picked up calls over this support area and played them up into the highs. Okay, so that's what I traded today, picking up price right here at the support line with the exhaustion candle being 50% erased, and then I played them up there. Okay, so into the close, we got a 10-minute downtrend. What else we got? We got a 2-hour. It's a 2-hour down. It's 2-hour uptrend, just barely. Let's see. The 3 is 597.60. The 8 is 597.64. So it's a 2-hour downtrend on that. On the daily chart, we've got price action here making a, looks like an inside day. Yeah, lower high. Yeah, lower high, higher low, inside day. Lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA on that one. Okay, so SPY. All right, let's take a look at QQQ. All right, here's QQQ on the daily chart, and we have for today looking like, now let's just see, it's very close. I got to say, it almost looks like another inside day. The high is 514.98. The high here is 514.66. So we got a higher high. And as far as the lows goes, 509.83. 509.95. So higher low, higher high closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action moving up, consolidating over to the right, holding the higher ground. That's bullish. Up over the 17, that's bullish. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's bullish. Everything's still bullish on QQQ and SPY. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, this is going to be a lot easier. Lower high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. Price action over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP, over the 17 EMA, moving up and holding the higher ground. All of those are bullish clues for Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow is still bullish. IWM. IWM, lower high, lower low, closing inside the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA, over the 2.5-year anchored VWAP right there, 2.5-year high anchored VWAP right there. So there's IWM, a prior high, because that was the last 2.5-year high. Okay, so IWM, bullish, closing up in the quadrant 4 up there. So IWM, still bullish. So last one is FNGU. FNGU, did they do it today? Let's see. They're climbing that breakdown candle. FNGU, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA, climbing the breakdown candle right here. Not too much further to go. Let's see. All right, see, it's only that, just this little area right up here. That's all they got left to go, right there. And then they got a brand new all-time high. So there's FNGU. Closing up over the 17, holding the higher ground, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Everything's still bullish on FNGU. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2122 first. So we find ourselves coming out of the seller's chop zone into the buyer's chop zone. And the bears threw us out after we did a little dance up here, okay, and then they threw us back into the seller's chop zone. So there's T21.22, T21.23, moving up, holding the higher ground, still up in quadrant 4, up over the rising 200 SMA. Price action for today, green the beginning of the day and then sell off in the end of the day, right there, okay. Still price action, still very bullish on T21.23. 3-bar chart's going to look very similar. 3 more green candle bars up over the midpoint, up in quadrant 4, up over the rising 200. Everything's still bullish on T21.23. FNGU, we just did this a little earlier. Okay, we've got a buying program at the beginning of the day, then a selling program came in afterwards, all right? Still moving up, holding the higher ground here. This is neutral, going up and coming back to right here. Notice they did not go further than what they went before. So FNGU still bullish, up over, rising 200 SMA, up over, all-time high anchored VWAP, moving up, making higher highs and higher lows. FNGU is still bullish. Everything's still working out on FNGU and the fabulous 5. All right, so let's go take a look at a few sectors. Let's skip back to indicators right there. Let's go look at SMH. SMH making higher highs and higher lows, closing in the upper third. That's bullish. Closing underneath the 17, not second day in a row closing underneath the 17, but closing over all-time high anchored VWAP and still making higher highs and higher lows. Hasn't made any lower lows, so it's still bullish, still in an uptrend. There's SMH, XLK. Technology sector moving up, holding the higher ground, closing over the 17 EMA. Both of those still bullish, closing up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Closing up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's also bullish. Everything's still bullish about XLK. Let's take a look at XLI. XLI made new all-time high a couple days ago on Monday. Price action for XLI moving up, holding the higher ground, bullish. Closing in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Up over the 17, that's bullish. Up, closing up over the bullish trap, that's also bullish, and closing up over a couple of prior high anchored VWAPs, also bullish, making higher highs and higher lows, also bullish. Everything's still bullish on industrials. Everything's still bullish on what would I just do? Semiconductors and technology. Let's go take a look at XLU. All right, XLU in a downtrend because made a lower low right here. Here's a low. We made a lower low right here. XLU in a downtrend. Not really worried about it because typically it's a defensive sector. Price action, okay, even though it's in a downtrend, closing in the upper third. That's still bullish. All right, closing underneath 2 of the prior all-time high anchored VWAPs, but over the midpoint of the quad lines. There's XLU. All right, still bullish even though it's in a downtrend. XLUs. Take a look at XLF. XLF, did they put in a new all-time high? Not quite. Almost. High is 50.13. High is 50.13. They got a tie. All right, so they challenged the all-time high right here on XLF. Price action closing over the bullish trap, over prior all-time high anchored VWAP, over the 17, moving up, holding the higher ground, making higher highs and higher lows, closing in quadrant 4. All of those clues are all bullish. XLF, still bullish there. Let's take a look at XRT. All right, here is the retail sector for today, closing, I'm going to say a lower high and an inside day and a higher low. Closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, up in quadrant 4, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Everything's still bullish on the retail sector. Let's take a look at IYT. Transports, price action for today is another inside day. All right. Lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, up over a prior high anchored VWAP, up over the 17 right here, making higher highs and higher lows, holding the higher ground. That's bullish. Transport still in an uptrend right there. Okay, so we had CPI come out this morning. All right, so what do we want to look at next? Let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver, did they take out that low? Not yet. They came close. Silver got an outside day. If they take out this low, they'll be in a downtrend. Gold is already in a downtrend. Silver putting in a higher high and a lower low, but closing under the bearish trap, under the 17, under the midpoint, and under prior all-time high anchored VWAPs, okay? So this is coming dangerously close to converting this uptrend into a downtrend if they take out this low. Okay, there's silver still in an uptrend, but doesn't seem to know it. Okay, let's take a look at GLD. GLD is in a downtrend because they took out this low right here. Price action is a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath the bearish trap. Under the 17 EMA, price action is bearish on GLD. All in all, let's just take a look with the quad lines, see where we fan out. Okay, you're still up over the midpoints. There's still a little bit of bullishness left in this, even though it's in a downtrend and it's coming off that all-time high right there. This is a pullback probably to the midpoint right here. You can see where the dotted midpoint lines up with this support area. Probably get a nice bounce coming right into that. There's GLD. Take a look at UNG. UNG in a downtrend. All right. UNG, today's price action is lower high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, trying to fight off the downtrend. Still in a downtrend because it's making lower highs and lower lows. Take a look at USO. USO is in an uptrend, all right, but it doesn't seem to know it because it keeps moving lower and lower, all right? If they take out this low, they'll be in a downtrend. USO price action today, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, under the 17 EMA. USO still in an uptrend, but it just doesn't know it there. All right, traders, that's it. Take some questions in the room. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, Skip. Yeah, Skip, the market went back up, then it went back down, then it went back up. It's just whipping around right now. SPY, yeah, on the 10-minute chart. All right, so what I traded today was I traded some of these 603 calls. All right, and I picked up the 603 calls right here. And you'll see it on my option chart, okay? So I picked up some 603 calls right in here, all right? And that was right after the exhaustion candle. I picked up some 603 calls, and then I just started buying and selling them, picking off the lows and picking off the highs. All right, so that's what I traded today. I traded the 603 calls. Those expire this Friday at 4 p.m. All right, so I traded those up, and I made $400 going from this low up here up to this high, and then buying a little bit of the pullback here. Okay, so 603 calls. The other thing I traded was I sold some puts against a put position that I had earlier. So I sold some puts, and I sold puts at, let's go take a look at where those came out. Okay, you can see I sold puts up here at the highs right here of the beginning of the day, and then I covered, and then I sold some more, then I covered, then I sold some more, then I covered, then I sold some more, then I covered, and then I just left off with I'm holding a short position in the puts. Now I have some long puts, so this is part of a spread. So I have some long puts for the SPY. So we'll see what happens. If the SPY gets bullish, these puts will go down. All right, so that's what we got here on SPY on the 5-minute chart. What else did I trade? I traded AMC. Okay, AMC I purchased right here on the pullback and sold up here and then sold here, and then I didn't trade the rest of it the day for AMC. So I made on AMC, I made $445 on AMC, and then I had some calls, and I made $67 on some calls. Last one I traded was 597 calls. I had some of those that were underwater, and I traded those, and it looks it's going to take it as a loss, but it really wasn't if you calculate what I bought here and what I sold them for. So if you calculated the 10 that I bought here, and then I sold those 10 up here for an average of $6, and I bought those for $557. So let's just take the calculator out. All right, and move it up here. So I got 10, so that's 1,000 shares. All right, and I got them for 5.57 minus $6 actually. 6 minus 557. That didn't work out. 600 minus 557. It's 43 cents times 100 shares. 1,000 shares because I got 10 contracts. All right, so that's $430 right there. I made on those. All right, and I made a little bit extra with the ones I had left over. All right, but it all came up as a loss because I was working in an underwater position. All right, so that's it for today, traders. Thoughts on BTC? BTC on, let's take the 2-hour. You still got a 2-hour uptrend, so I'm bullish on that. All right. You're up over the 17, so I'm bullish on that. I don't see exhaustion, so I'm bullish on that. Daily, it's moving up. I still see more upside for BTC. We'll see what happens here, but still bullish on BTC for me. All right, so having a pullback now. Now, if you get a 2-hour downtrend, it's not the same. If it bounces on minor support, which is what you want it to do, bounce on minor support right there, okay, and run back up and make a higher high. That's what you really want it to do, is keep bouncing on minor support and making new highs. T-Doc. On the 2-hour, all right. Hey, Rob. Hey, Elizabeth. T-Doc, on the 2-hour, you're in a 2-hour downtrend right here on the daily chart. You got an inverse head and shoulders. You're looking for this right shoulder to start to grow the right arm. Here's the left arm. You're looking for this to grow the right arm. Okay, so you're looking for price action to break the neckline, which seems to be this blue dotted line right here. Okay, if that breaks that neckline there, you're going to look for that right arm to form. And you can see it's a long way back, but you can see it could go all the way up there. So Teledoc still bullish on the daily chart, up over the 17. Moving up and holding the higher ground, that's bullish. This battery of 3 wicks, not liking that at all, but they're not giving up. So that's a good sign. Price action got no higher highs and higher lows, but if you look at what's going on here, move up and then over to the right, that's bullish right there. Just need them to break out. Okay, they're just not ready to break out yet. I don't know if we got an enormous amount of sellers up there or institutions are waiting for better circumstances to get bullish on it. Now, they were back up there again earlier today. They couldn't break through. That's not a good sign. 3 times up there and they couldn't get through. I'm not a big fan of that. All right, so on Teledoc, stay with that daily trend, but as soon as that closes, I think I'd have to bail on that. Right now, you got a 2-hour downtrend that could be easily corrected with a couple candles. It's not a deep downtrend. You know, it just crossed earlier today. See that? So it's just kind of pulling back to minor support again and see what happens with that. Okay? So I'm not a big fan of this one after those 3 times up. I think there's probably some better plays out there. Amazon. Okay, Amazon, there's a better play right there. All right, I like that one. I like, did Intel get going today? Okay, Intel just started a 2-hour uptrend right there. I like that one. Pull back to minor support. See the minor? You got minor support right through here. Okay, so pull back to minor support and then bouncing higher. I like Intel. I like Amazon. Let's see what else is Costco. Costco making a higher low and bouncing off of minor support. See that one? That's a real good one too. All right, if that can get going, bouncing off of minor support right there. See how that tail comes down and meets these the peaks? See the valley meets the peak, and typically you get a new high. If they got a pullback, making a higher low, then we want to see the bulls get inspired, make a higher high, okay, on that one. You got Rivian yesterday. I think you did well today if you got Rivian yesterday. If you got Rivian yesterday, you got a nice gift today. Like a $1 move, almost a $2 move right there. Yep, that was nice. And the question is, it hit minor resistance. See right here, Elizabeth? All of this right here, this, I'm going to box it off. See this plane of, see all these valleys that come down? Like right here is a valley. All right, right here is a valley. See that? That's minor resistance right there. So we hit minor resistance and we're kind of pulling back. Now let's see if now we want minor support to hold. So if they pull back, we want to see them come down to this area here and then J-hook up out of there and go test major resistance up here, which major resistance is going to be this area on the top where all the peaks and the wicks are. So right up there. All right, so we want them to move up and start to challenge major resistance. Hopefully they get up on top of major resistance. That would be really nice. And hold the higher ground, okay? And then they just hold on top of this support area. That would be really nice. We'll see what happens, all right? So there's Rivian having a big pop today. That was nice. All right, BRKB looks like it's setting up. Let's take a look at that. All right, Berkshire Hathaway, yes, definitely setting up. See this head and shoulders. There's the right shoulder, all of this the left shoulder, waiting for that arm to form, to come up to here, and you've got a neckline right through here. You got to break that neckline first, Robert, and then it's game on for that inverse head and shoulders. Yep, that is setting up. Got those higher lows, another higher low. Look for this to make that higher high. Yep, that's a nice one. Thanks, Robert, for sharing that one. I like that. All right, traders, that's it for me for today. All right, I got coaching today with somebody. I'll see you at 5:30. I think I said 5:30. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Everybody have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Brad, Alan, Elizabeth, everybody that showed up. Appreciate it. Hope you all made some money today. It was the exhaustion candle was the one to buy. After you saw the exhaustion candle in the SPY, right 10-minute, right there. And I put an arrow on it and I said possible exhaustion candle. And then, I mean, if you didn't see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 12 green candles push this thing to the upside. Right there. It was like machine gun buying right there. Thanks, Greg. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Everybody have a nice evening. Thank you.